standard was passed. And in 1986, in the same year, again, the Environmental Protection and Pollution Control Act was passed. In 1992, Milk and Milk Products Order was passed. Like in 1955, Fruit Product Order, Agriculture Produce Act, and Vegetable Oil Produce Product Control Order in 1998. So this is about the history of functional food. And the next one is like, what are the timelines of food loss in India? Starting from 1937, I think someone is in unmute mode. Please mute yourself.
Just 1 second, sir.
Sahil, can you mute yourself? Okay. So talking about the food loss in India, in 1937, the committee was appointed by the Central Advisory Board of the Health. And in 1955, Prevention of Food Adulteration Bill was passed. And this bill was passed in 1954, and this thing came to effect in 1955 on June 1. Later in 1998, a group on food and agro industries recommended one comprehensive legislation, and in 2004, Parliamentary Committee on Pesticide Residue emphasized converge all food laws into a single regulatory body. And in 2005, Standing Committee of Parliament on Agriculture submitted for an integrated food laws. And the same thing in the same year, Law Commission was also asked to give it reviews. In 2006, FSSA bill passed, came into force in 2007. So the Food Safety and Standards Authority of Act was passed in 2006. Coming to the Food Safety and Standard Act in 2006. So which is the latest act, which is like 2006, which was passed by the Indian government. So the Food Safety and Standard Act 2006 aims to establish a single reference point for all the matters relating to the food safety and standards by moving from the multi-level and multi-department control to a single line of command. So as you seen in the previous slides, so there were multiple committees for each and everything was formed starting from the 1937. In 2006, they made a single committee, which is Food Safety and Standards Act. So in this, all the things will be kept under the single point. Like it will be a single reference point for all the issues related to the food and safety and standards. It incorporates the silent provisions of the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, and it is based on the international legislation, instrumentalities, and the Codex Alimentarius Commission. Sorry for this spelling error. It is typo actually. So that is about the Food and Safety Act 2006. So if you visit to this FSSAI portal, the homepage looks like this. Like what are the regulations are there, what are the notification every time, whenever they have any notifications which will be populated and in this notification bar. whenever they are updating any regulations, they'll be updating in these sections. So what are the rules and acts in 2006 and 2011? So what are the orders here? So after this COVID-19, they have implemented the COVID-19 section also. Earlier it was not there. So they have newly implemented this thing. So this is about the homepage of the FSSAI portal. It is just for reference. So what are the silent features of the FSSAI? Mainly, it helps for the decentralization of licensing for food products. It also easy method for the issuance of the license within a short period, like 2 months. Once the applicant files for the licensing, so within 2 months, he or she can get the license. No license for the small food business operators. Only registration is mandatory. Whenever if a business person is continuing his own very small business in food section, so this authority will not provide the license. Only the registration shall be made as a FTO. The act ensures safety of consumers and assures full compensation to a victim in case of injury or death. Basically, this act will be providing as a safety for the consumers whoever are taking. Usually, as you all know, like for each and everything, like in India, whatever they are preparing foods with the new recipes and all, so they have to register and they have to ensure that they are following the safety of the consumers. In case of any harms, at the same time, the compensation will be provided. The Act emphasizes on the training and awareness program regarding food safety for food business operators, consumers, and the regulators. The Act encourages self-regulations through introduction of food recall procedures. What are the benefits of implementing this Act? So the main benefits are like, it basically based on the science-based standards. It helps to curb corruptions, and it unification of 8 laws which are from like from each and every steps to the making it the harmonized level. So alignment of international regulation, according to the international regulations itself, the this act has been implemented in India. So these are the benefits of the FSSAI Act. So who needs this FSSAI license? So as you can see, all the club members needs these licenses. Wherever these distributors are there, food distributors, they need this license. Canteen people need this license. And dhaba, as you can see, the roadsides, many people have started with the dhaba, so they should have this license. And food processor, who are all processing the food, and the restaurants, each and every restaurant should register under the FSSAI, and they should have the license in order to proceed with the uh, restaurants. And retailers, storage people, and suppliers like this, as you know, Zomato, Swiggy, all these people should have this FSSAI license. Transporters, wholesalers, and everyone, like whoever are dealing with the food products, they should have the license under FSSAI. So what is the functions of food authority? So food authority to regulate and monitor the manufacture, processing, distribution, sale, and import of the food in order to ensure the safe and wholesome of the food. The main function of food authority is to monitor how these people, restaurant people, and these suppliers and food processors and everyone, like whoever are involved in these food sections, like how they are manufacturing the food and how they are processing, whether they are manufacturing in a good hygiene, are they following the good hygienic practices and good distribution practices and everything. So in order to have the clean and the hygiene products, this food authority will be regulating and monitoring the this food distributors in order to have the safety for the consumers. It will provide scientific advice and technical support to the central government and the state governments in matters in framing the policy rules in areas which have direct or indirect bearing on food safety and nutrition. Other works as I mentioned in the act, like how may I help you? You can see in the pictures, I'm here for the inspection of the food quality. It's like we are there and they'll be guiding for the central and the state governments, this food authority with the scientific advices and the technical supports. So what exactly the work of FSSAI? How this authority will work basically? This food, sorry, 1 second. Food business operators, FBOs, first they have to fill the form and make the payment in the step 1. Once it is payment and the form is submitted, and the specific expert from the FSSAI get a call, and then this applicant will get a call from the FSSAI expert, and later they'll be discussing about their the next steps, like uploading all the necessary documents, and then FSSAI expert will apply for the certificate. Only the applicant have to fill the form and make the payment. The next action will be taken from the experts from the FSSAI, and all the documents will be given to these experts, and later these experts will upload all the necessary documents, and then the experts will apply for the certificate. Once all the requirements are passed, and then the certificate will be sent by the FSSAI department to the applicant. So this is how the FSSAI works. So coming to the licensing and registration requirement, every food business operator in the country will have to obtain the registration license in accordance with the food procedure laid down in the FSSAI. Whoever are food business operators in India, they should have the license. It's like must and should rule. So all the food business operators should have the license from the FSSAI according to the regulations of 2011. A manufacturer cannot commence business unless he is registered or has a valid license. Until unless the food business operator has a license from the FSSAI, he or she, the manufacturer, cannot commence the business. Once they should have the license from the FSSAI, then only they can move ahead with the commencing of their business. So it's not like I have applied for the license from FSSAI, I'll start with my business. No, it's not like that. You should have a license in hand with you, and then you can proceed with the your business. So petty food manufacturers, like whoever like pets food manufacturers are there, where their annual turnover is less than 12 lakh, have to register with the commissioner and manufacturers commissioner, and the manufacturers whose turnover is greater than the 12 lakh to obtain the food license from the FSSAI office. The pet food manufacturers, like whose turnover is less than the 12 lakh per annum, they have to just register in the FSSAI office, and whose turnover is more than the 12 lakhs per annum, they should have the license from the FSSAI. Existing license and registration should be converted into FSSAI license or registrations. Whatever the existing license are there, which are into old regulations, so that should be converted into the FSSAI license. An application for the grant of the license shall be made in the Form B of the Schedule 2 to concerned license authority. The license shall be issued within the 60 days from the date of issue of the application ID number. Once the applicant has submitted their applications, at the same time the application ID number is generated within the 60 days, this license will be issued only in case of the best scenario. Like in worst case, these days may can extend depending upon the submission of the documents to the experts. If the applicant is delaying in submission of the documents to the experts of the FSSAI, obviously this time period will be extending. In best case, all the documents are in place and all are according to the requirements. In that case, within the 60 days of the application ID number generated, this license will be given to the food business operators. After the issue of application ID number, the licensing authority may direct the food safety officer to inspect the premises in the manner prescribed by the FSSAI in accordance with these regulations. Once the applicant has submitted the application and the application ID number is generated, the licensing authority will send the food safety officer to inspect the premises, like what is the premises, how they are maintained, whether it's in hygiene condition or not, whether these are according to the FSSAI rules and laws. So all the things will be inspected by the food safety officer, and then the results will be given to the higher authority. The licensing authority shall issue the license in Form C under the Schedule 2 of these regulations. Once everything is in place and once we have a green signal from the food safety officers, like we can proceed with the licensing for this particular applicant. So the license will be issued in the Form C of the Schedule 2. The registration or license granted under these regulations shall be valid and subsisting unless otherwise specified for the period of 15 years. Once this is issued, it will be given for the 15 years of validity. Once it is near to very expiry, so within specified time, the applicant has to apply for the renewal. So that's about the licensing and registration requirement in FSSAI. Coming to the licensing and registration system for the nutraceuticals under FSSAI. Previously, we discussed about the food, how we have to get the license for the from the FSSAI. So here we talk about the licensing system for the nutraceuticals under FSSAI. Everyone in the food sector is required to get the license or the registration that would be issued by the local authorities. Temporary stall holders are exempted from the license, but need to get their business registered with the local municipality or panchayat. So local holders, like local sellers, according to their municipalities and panchayats, they have to register in their particular municipality offices. In this case, they no need to get the license from the FSSAI. Only they can register their firms in the particular municipality offices. Import licensing, manufacturing licensing, and other national level clearances or licenses required from the regulatory side need to be taken care before launching these products in the India. So whenever we have the import or export of the things, food or these nutraceuticals, so this will be taken care by the regulatory team. So the FSSAI promises to simplify the licensing and registration process for nutraceutical, since the actual process varies with the number of parameters. For product registration in India, a number of licenses, almost 4 to 5, might be required depending on the actual product status, like whether the company wants to sell bulk truck or finished formulation, whether the company is importing finished product or bulk goods, whether the product is to be imported is with or without India specified label, will the claims will be developed in India, whether the company has a packaging license or not, whether it requires manufacturing license or not, whether it requires marketing license or not. Based on these criteria, this license will be issued for the nutraceuticals. So coming to the responsibilities of the food business operators. As a food business operator, every food business operator shall ensure that all the articles of food satisfy the requirements of these acts and rules and regulations made their rule under all stages of productions, processing, import, distribution, and sale within the business under this control. Like as a food business operator, they should comply with the FSSAI rules and the regulations. All the things should be like made under the like whatever they are, production, processing, import, and distribution, everything should be in accordance with the FSSAI 2000 Act. So coming to the restrictions of advertisement and prohibition as to unfair trade practice, no advertisement shall be made of any food which is misleading or deceiving or contravenes the provisions of this act and the rules and regulations. No person shall engage himself in any unfair trade practice for purpose of promoting the sale, supply, use, and the consumption of articles of the food or adopt any unfair or deceptive practice, including the practice of making any statement, whether orally or in writing or by visible presentation. Like we should not give any fixed price and show them like only for this amount we'll be selling this and all. We should not do these things. Hope you have seen in the restaurants, like they'll be not displaying anything like for this much amount itself we are selling this food and all. So we have not seen this kind of advertisements. So this is against the law. Whenever they are doing this kind of things, this is like they are not following the rules and regulations of the FSSAI. So we have registered the product. So we have like distributed and we have license for that particular product and all. So now we don't want to move further with this product and we have to recall this from this FSSAI. So what is the procedure for the recalling of the food? So initiate process for the recall if food is not in compliance of the act. Immediately inform competent authorities. Food business operator will follow guidelines relating to the food recall procedures. Food recall is like to remove food from the market at any stage of the food chain, including that processed by consumers. Like in case of any harmless or harmful things are found by the food business operators, that time they can do the recalling of the food. Authorities responsible for the enforcement of the act. So food authority and the state food authorities shall be responsible for the enforcement of this act, and they shall monitor and verify that the relevant requirements of the law are fulfilled by the food business operators at all stages of the food business. So there are mainly two authorities, like food authority, which is central authority, and the state food authorities. They will be taking care of the enforcement of the acts. Coming to the designated officer in FSSAI, this designated officer is the Commissioner of Food Safety and shall appoint designated officer for each district. Like Commissioner of the Food Safety have to appoint the designated officer for each district in the particular state. So what is the functions of the designated officers? Designated officers will issue or cancel the license of food business operators. They have the rights to issue and cancel the licenses for the FBO. They can prohibit the sale of any article of food which is in contravention of the provisions of this act. They have the rights to make recommendation to the Commissioner of Food Safety for sanction to launch prosecution in case of any contraventions punishable with the imprisonment. And they have the rights to maintain the record of all inspection made by the food safety officers and action taken by them in the performance of their duty. So these are the basic functions of the designated officers. So the next thing is like Commissioner of the Food Safety. So what the Commissioner of Food Safety does actually, state government shall appoint the Commissioner of Food Safety for the state of efficient implementation of the food safety and standards. State government should appoint the commissioners of the food safety, whereas the Commissioner of Food Safety will appoint the designated officer for each districts. So food safety officer, the Commissioner of Food Safety shall appoint the food safety officer. The state government may authorize any officer of the state government to perform the functions of the food safety officers. So state government will be appointing the food safety officers to perform the functions in the state government. So what is the power of food safety officers? Food safety officers take sample of any food, they can seize any articles of the food and enter in any premises of the food operators and inspect. Food safety officer will follow the guidelines issued by the Commissioner of Food Safety from the time to time. So the food safety officers can visit at any time without any notification, and they can take any products of the food, or they can seize anything, any article of the food in order to investigate that food, whether they are in compliance with or not. So what are the regulatory requirements to entry in India? So in order to entry the Indian pharmaceutical market, we have three important sections like product evaluation, licenses, and health and labor claims. So three requirements to enter the nutraceuticals in Indian market. So talking about the product evaluation, there are various steps in the product evaluation, which includes developing extracts of the documents, authenticating the same by concerned authority, sample collection will be done, sample dispatch to concerned authority, food analysis can be done, and education proceedings like holding inquiry and appeal procedures and hearing. So this is about the product evaluation. So licenses, to get the product registered in India, the number of licenses will be required depending on the actual product status, such as like the company wants to sell bulk truck for finished formulation, like the company is importing finished product or bulk ingredient, the company has packaging license and it requires a manufacturing license. Like for each and everything we have different licenses. Like company, if they want to sell the bulk truck or finished product, for that we have different license. They have to obtain the different license. Whenever the company is importing the finished product from bulk ingredients from other countries, or we have to get other license. Whenever we have only like packaging section of nutraceutical, for that we need to get the different license. The number of document will have to be furnished by the food importer to the government authority along with the registration application. The interlink through the regulatory product offering provides regulatory support for the following licensing procedures, which need to be taken care of before the launching the products in India. Like we have to take care of the importing licenses, manufacturing license, marketing license, and other things. So coming to the health and labor claims. Health and labor claims specific to Indian regulatory guidelines is a major element to be focused on while entering in Indian market. Based on the rules of the regulatory assessment of the product, India's specific label content and claims are developed. International as well as the national clients have a number of questions about Indian labeling and packaging requirements. Packing of consignment, need for a sample material and declaration of registration, compensation of consignment and approach for the same, label content and structure function claim, and the label claim. So what is the import process of food in India? So like in the step 1, the pay customs duty and obtain custom clearance. Whenever we are importing the food, from other foreign countries, like you have to pay custom duty and obtain custom clearance, and then apply for FSSAI clearance, and then visual inspection and laboratory analysis by the FSSAI. And the final step is like food product is either cleared or import into the India rejected. We'll be getting the certification for the same thing. So import process of nutraceuticals in India is like, whenever importer is importing, like they have to apply for the importer license in Form A and B along with the supporting documents and fees to the FSSAI, and then they get clear importer license, and then they can import. And the next method is like apply for IEC number to DGFT and they receive the IEC number, and they can import the nutraceuticals in India. So this is about the import of the nutraceuticals and food in the India. So here we come to the end of the topic. So in case of any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, sir. I request the students, if you're having any doubts, you can post in the chat box or you can ask directly. Please unmute your mic and you can ask directly to the sir. Or you can post in the chat box. The materials will be shared to you in the group. If there are any no doubts, then we'll be signing off. So if you are having any doubts, please post
Hope
in the
it was
chat
clear
box.
session. It was not lengthy. Okay, then I take it as no. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, Jyoti ma'am, to present the sessions to your students. Thank you so much for attending the session, students. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your experiences and the information with us.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
So these students all are from M Pharmacy or B Pharm?
B Farm, M Farm, and few are from Farm D, sir.
Okay, okay. All are like final year students or like where second year, third year students also there?
Third year and fourth years, sir.
Okay, okay.
Third
M
years and
Pharm both.
Farm D, they are from second year. M Farm also both from first years and second years.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay. Thanks everyone. Bye. Because
Thank you so much, sir.
sorry.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. You're welcome. I'm running out of time. Actually, I have one meeting by 11:30. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. And I request the students to join for the afternoon session at 2 p.m. Thank you.